Hathor was an Egyptian goddess associated with the sky, the sun, and the afterlife. On this episode of Humble History, we'll cover the beliefs around Hathor. Let's get into it right now. The Egyptologist Geraldine Pinch writes, Hathor was the golden goddess who helped women to give birth, the dead to be reborn, and the cosmos to be renewed. This complex deity functioned as the mother, consort, and daughter of the creator sun god. Many lesser goddesses came to be known as the names of Hathor in her benevolent and destructive nature. Geraldine Pinch goes on to argue that for many centuries, Hathor was considered the most important of the Egyptian goddesses. Her name means mansion of Horus. Horus was one of the chief gods of ancient Egypt. In different periods of ancient Egypt, Hathor was seen as Horus's mother, while in other periods she was seen as his consort. However, some historians argue that Hathor may not have been the first name used by the goddess. Whatever the case, it is clear that the Egyptians believed that Hathor existed long before Horus, with some of the myths even attributing Hathor being around during the creation of the universe. Hathor is often depicted as the renewer of the cosmos, and this even appears as how she is depicted, often wearing a crown with two cow horns with a red disc between the horns. The cow horns were used by the ancient Egyptians to symbolize her as a nurturer and a mother figure. She is even depicted in the form of a cow in some inscriptions. However, the disc that appears on her crown is the eye of Ra, Ra being the creator sun god. This references the myth of the sun god being lifted to the heavens in the head of a celestial cow. In other myths, Hathor gave birth to the sun god and raised him above the primeval waters. In both cases, she represents a major figure in the creation of the cosmos. However, Hathor also appears as a destroyer. In the Book of the Heavenly Cow, one of the sacred texts of ancient Egypt, the god Ra believes that humans have betrayed him. Deciding to rebuke humanity, he calls all the gods to him to determine how to punish the humans. He told them, "Humanity, which came into being from my eye, is plotting against me. Advise me what you would do about it." The other major deities advised Ra to send his eye against the rebels. Nun, one of the gods, says, "No eye is more able to smite them. Let it go down as Hathor." The guilty among the humanity flee in the desert through fear of Ra, but Hathor goes through a wave of killings, and in a brutal description she even wades in their blood. When she returns to Ra, she tells him that she has overpowered humanity, and it was sweet to my heart. Ra replies, "I shall have power over them as king by culling them." Thus says the text, the powerful one came into being. On the next day, Hathor is committed to destroy more humans, but Ra has decided to forgive humanity as they begged and prayed for his forgiveness. So in order to stop Hathor, he sends messengers to collect large quantities of a red mineral. The messengers then deliver this to the priests on earth. Ra charges the high priests to mash this mineral while his servants mashes barley to make beer. And according to the Book of the Heavenly Cow, the priest and the servant produce 7,000 jars of beer and mix it with the red mineral to give the color of blood. Before dawn, Ra pours the red beer out into the fields, are flooded to a depth of 3 palms. When Hathor arrives the next day, she sees her own reflection in the flood. The story says she drank and it delighted her heart. She came back drunk without having noticed humanity. And according to the story, Ra welcomed her back, and from that day on, alcohol was drunk during the festival of Hathor. Hathor then becomes a force for humanity's good. She was also called the goddess of the West. She is said to be the one to welcome the setting sun. This title also extends to the afterlife. Hathor was worshipped as an ease into the afterlife for both humans and gods. It was believed that Hathor was the gatekeeper of the underworld and the life after this one. Over time, all of these functions would change, and these functions had been attributed to different gods, and Hathor's own attributes changed. but we can't deny that she's one of the most important figures to study for Egyptian mythology. If you'd like to see more content on African mythology and history, make sure to check out more of our channel. And if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like and share. It helps the content a lot. And we'll see you on the next episode.